All right, we're going to start doing pricing for DSCR loans. So the most important part you want to do at first is go to the lender website. Now I have it already saved, but you want to go to wholesale.thelender.com. Now you want to go over to the Broker Resource Center, but specifically go to the spot. Now, I'm sure you already have your credentials. Go ahead and go to your login. You're going to put in your username, and you more likely will already have your password. Once you log in, what I want you to do is we're going to do this as a scenario. In a later video, I can do one on an actual life loan. Okay, so here on the top where it says scenarios, you're going to go ahead and click that, various scenarios for your different borrowers. So before we start inputting on any of these different boxes, you definitely want to make sure that every single one that has a red asterisk is filled out if it's pertaining to the particular loan type. So as an example, if you're doing a first lien, like a DSCR loan like we're going to do, then obviously these are not going to matter when it comes to second and HELOC. You can go ahead and leave them at 0, but make sure that they stay at 0. So we're going to go ahead and start with DSCR loans. So we'll start with a hypothetical of a loan for $400,000. And let's just say that it's a $500,000 value. And then if you did it correctly, you're going to see that the LTV will say 80. Now, the reason why I'm going with 80 is because typically when you do a purchase, you could go 80, 85. And to make sure it's a purchase, on the same loan information tab, you're going to see on the loan purpose and make sure that it's a purchase. If you want to do, refi cash out or written term, then these are the other settings. But for this purpose, we're going to stay with purchase. And therefore, we're not going to have any cash out. Now, if we go to the next set, this is really important when it comes to doing a DSCR loan. You see how it says verified for income, verified asset, and employment is verified. It needs to be, for each one of the settings, it needs to be none. Why? Because a DSCR loan is a no income loan. And in fact, when you do your 1003 application, I don't want to see no income. I don't even want to see any income when it comes to the rental. So all three have to be none, none, none. Now, right above, you always got to put a FICO in. You're going to put 700. And over here to the right side, it doesn't matter if it's self-employed, debt to income ratio. Now, I'd say that there is no income, but even though there is no income, you want to put a 1, or else you're going to get an error. Now, if it's not a citizen, you can look at if it's a foreign national, non-permanent resident, permanent resident. For pricing purposes, we're going to leave it as a U.S. citizen. Now, continuing on, right here back to the asterisk, we're going to put a 1. Everything else, I would just leave alone. Once you get the best possible rate, when it comes to the ACH, so that means that they're going to get an automatic payment that comes out of their account. If you want to put no, you can. However, that's going to cost on the rate. Most of the loans that I do, people are going to say yes. Just make sure you discuss this with your borrower. Now, continuing on, occupancy. When it comes to DSCR loans, they are for investment purposes only. If you have anything else on the investment, it's not going to give you pricing. If you got something other than a single family residence, like a condo, a PUD, a warrantable townhome, we won't do manufactured loans. Condotel, then this is where you would click it. You want to keep it, for this example, as an SFR. And then if it's more than 1 unit, this is where you would do it. We're going to keep it at 1. And then in this case, number of stories, 1. Now, when it comes to states, you want to put the state that it pertains to. For this example, I'm going to use California, and I'm going to go with Los Angeles. If it's Texas, then you could put Austin, Travis County, whatever county it pertains to. Now, the next category is this. The only way you're going to get DSCR pricing, and this is where people say, well, I can't find it. I can't find non-QM pricing. If you look everywhere else, there's no setting for it. You're going to leave everything here alone. You're going to leave it as conforming, but right here where it says product types, you want to click on this expanded guideline. When you click on there, then you see the drop down. Right here where it says income verification, again, we do not verify income, so you're going to go into the NONI or DSCR. Now, for DSCR, there's really 2 types. There's what is referred to as 1.0 plus, right over here, or if it's going to be a near NONI, it's going to be less. So in this case, I'm going to go with 1.00. If it happen to be less than 1, you know for a fact that the rents are not going to cover the payment, then you're going to type in here 0.99 or 0.75, whatever it is. For this example, we're going to keep it at 1.00. Now, before I go ahead and I click on the submit button, I just want to verify that everything that I already did is correct. So, okay, I got my first, I got my value, my LTV. I'm not messing with these choices because it's not a second or a HELOC. I know that it's a purchase. Okay, so I don't have to worry about cash out. Now, in reserves, that is going to matter. Let's just say that this borrower has 6. With regards to reserves, when it comes to a DSCR, if it will debt service, you don't need reserves at 80. However, if it becomes a near known or a 0.75 to 0.99, you need 6 months reserves. So I'm checking again my FICO. We're good. Okay, I got none across the board for income, for assets, for employment. I got state, county. I have the expanded guidelines. And last but not least, people say, well, what about if I want to go borrower paid, lender paid? This is where you would do it. But for DSCR, you could only go buyer paid. And then you go ahead and click on the submit button. When you click on it, you're going to see if you do it after 3 p.m., you're going to see that the rates are expired. If you do it before 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, then it's going to be live loans. Now, how do you read this? This is a 5% prepayment penalty type loan. Here, let's just go with 5 to get the best pricing possible. And we'll go ahead and resubmit it. Okay, I'm going to open it up again. And then you're going to see par pricing. Par is the rate that it costs nothing to your borrower, and you may get a slight credit. So 7.5 for this particular loan, the best possible rate without costing your borrower money. If you want to make some additional money for yourself, you're able to offer 7.75 to get 101, which gives you $4,000 credit. If you wanted to lock the loan, then you would lock it over here, but this is just to get pricing for your borrower. Now, let's play with it a little bit. Let's say that this loan will not debt service, that hypothetically speaking, payment is $3,000 and you're at $2,500 rent. You want to go interest only. So here's where you would do it for interest only. You switch it over to interest only and you have to hit resubmit button so you get updated pricing. It is more expensive to go interest only. So if you go back over here, if you recall, we were at 7.5. My par right now is at 7.75. So it's costing roughly a quarter, actually 7.65. It's almost par to go interest only, but now the payment is going to be significantly less, $25.42 versus if you went principal and interest. Now, let's go back to the example where we had it at regular submit. And then let's say that your borrower says, no, I'm not going to go with 5 years. That's too much. I want to look at other options. What if you want to go with a 1 year? What if I want to do a 3 year? As you go down, you'll get rate that is not as good, obviously. So let's go to 1 for this example. And let's look at what the rate is. Resubmit. Let's open it up again. Now it's 8.125, where before we were at 7.5 on a 5 year at par. And there's a payment, $29.70. Last but not least, let's say you want to go no prepay. I can do no prepay, but you're going to see that you cannot get par pricing. There's going to be 99, meaning that it's going to cost a point. So when you open it, you're looking at 7.875 will be the best rate, and it's going to cost your client $4,000 to do this. Even if you go higher, it doesn't matter. It's just going to be 99 no matter what. They can buy the rate down. It will cost more if you want to get a lower rate, but for a no prepay, you would offer 7.875. Now, hopefully this gives you, just as a summary, it shows you how to price out DSCRs. I focus primarily on 1.00, not a near NONI, but it's a real simple fix, like I showed you earlier. Now, if you have any questions, you can reach me at 951-751-6810. You could also email me at sauciello@thelender.com. With that, I thank you for your time.